Hey everyone, a very warm welcome back to the channel. And today we are starting with a very important topic, and that topic is applications of derivatives, monotonicity, and maxima minima. So this is the very first question from that chapter. The question says, if f of x is equal to e power x minus tan inverse x minus 3, then which of the following options is correct? So basically, we are given four options. The very first one says f of x equal to 0 has exactly one positive real root. Y equal to f of x has exactly one minima at negative x. Third option says one minima at positive x. And the last option says y equal to f of x is a strictly increasing function for all real x. So the maximum time allotted would be 11 minutes for this question. Ideally, you should try to do it within 4 minutes. So it is quite an amazing question. You can pause the video, give the question a try, and then return back to have a look at the correct solution. So I hope all of you have tried it out. Now let us see what the answer is. So first of all, the answer would be A and B options are correct. Solution when we are discussing, so basically concepts and formulas used here are that derivative sign, if it changes from negative to positive, that implies it is the point of minima, and that's pretty much it. So now how to do this question? Let us see. So f of x is equal to e minus f of 0 when we are finding it comes out to be e minus 3, which is obviously negative. F of infinity comes out to be infinity, which is positive, and f of minus infinity comes out to be basically limit extends to minus infinity. When we apply it is pi by 2 minus 2, which is again negative. Okay. Now, when we are talking about f prime x, derivative comes out to be this quantity minus this quantity. We have simply differentiated it using the usual rules of differentiation. Now, what I've done is I've taken the LCM here. Now, this numerator function we are calling as g of x, okay? And g of x we are calling as the numerator function, nothing else. So now what we do is we are going to differentiate it. G prime x we are finding, and just using product rule and chain rule, we have been able to find this derivative, and then taking e power x plus x as common, we are left with these quantities inside. So basically 1 plus x square plus 2x I have written as 1 plus x whole square, right? Now the thing is that any square number will always be a positive quantity or a non-negative quantity. E power anything is a positive quantity, x square is again a positive or non-negative quantity, e power anything is again a positive quantity. So this entire quantity has to be positive for sure. So g prime x always greater than 0 implies g of x is an increasing function. Now what we are able to observe is that g of minus infinity comes out as a negative quantity, which is minus 1. How have we found it? So basically we have applied x tends to minus infinity on the function g of x, right? Now what I'm trying to do is I am first writing this particular function as e power x into e power x, right? And then I'm opening it up. So opening the brackets up, so 1 into this quantity is simply this quantity, then minus 1 here also, and then plus x square into e power whatever, so that quantity comes here. Now of course e power minus infinity will tend to 0, so this particular limit we have been able to write it like this: e power 0 into 0 minus 1, and then this limit again becomes e power 0 because e power minus infinity is 0, and remaining things remain as it is inside the limit. Now what I've done is I've done the substitution, t is equal to minus x, so on doing that t will tend to infinity and the function becomes t square upon e power t. Of course, if you now use L'Hospital rule twice because it is infinite by infinite form, first you get 2t upon e power t, which is again infinite by infinite form. Again, if we use, then we get 2 upon e power t, and 2 upon infinity is certainly 0. So minus 1 plus 0 is minus 1, which is a negative quantity. So at minus infinity, this is the value of g. G of 0 actually comes out to be e minus 1, which is a positive quantity. But since g of x is an increasing function, we can say there exists exactly one x equals to x1 from minus infinity to 0, such that g of x1 is equal to 0. The reason we are able to say this is we have the x-axis, right? Now at minus infinity, its value is tending to 1, minus 1, as we have already seen. And at a 0, its value is how much? It is a positive quantity, e minus 1. So obviously, and it is also an increasing function. So obviously it has to cut the x-axis exactly once. There is absolutely no doubt about that, right? So that's why we are saying that exactly 1x equal to x1 will exist such that g of x1 becomes 0. Now the sign scheme of g of x would obviously look like this, that before x1, before the point x1, it would be negative, and then it would be positive. Actually, it is not very difficult to see why this would be the case. I'll try to explain the reason as well. So basically what we are saying is that from this function, what are we able to observe here? Before x1, obviously it is negative. Here it is negative. Then after x1, if we look at from x1 to 0, it is clearly positive. So that is precisely what we are able to observe, nothing else. So once again, I'll try to explain what we are saying. Since g of x is an increasing function, right, and it has got exactly one root, so before that it would be negative, then after that point it would always be positive, right? So it is very obvious, I think, because since it is increasing, it can never come back, right, to negative. It has to increase, so it will always remain positive for all x greater than x1, and similarly it will always remain negative for x less than x1. So that's kind of what we are trying to say here. Now, the thing is that sign scheme of g of x and f of x must be the same. They must match exactly, because 1 plus x square is anyway greater than 0 for any real number x. Look, basically what is f prime x? Basically what we are trying to say is the sign scheme of f prime x and g of x we are trying to say. So let me correct this. We are trying to talk about f prime x. Okay, so f prime x and g of x sign scheme must match. The reason is that f prime x is simply equals to what? G of x upon 1 plus x square. But we observe that 1 plus x square is a positive quantity, so the only its sign will only depend on the sign of g of x. So f prime x will also have the same sign scheme. Now what we are able to observe is that since this is also the sign scheme of f prime x, x1 will be a point of minima, and x1 is obviously less than 0, because we have already seen x1 lies in minus infinity to 0. So that's why we are able to see it will be a point of minima, because sign changes from negative to positive. So that's why it is a point of minima. So we are able to observe that f of x will decrease from minus infinity to x1. Why? Because f prime x is negative in this entire range. So obviously it will decrease, and it will increase in the range or in the interval x1 to infinity, because here the derivative f prime is positive. So f of 0, we are able to observe f of 0 is less than 0, a negative quantity. F of infinity is greater than 0. These things we have already derived in the very first line of the question. So from here we are taking these things. So since f of 0, let me just write it down. So f of 0 is negative, f of infinity is positive, and it is an increasing function. So obviously it can only cut the x-axis once, and thus it will have exactly one positive root. So I think that's how we have been able to solve all the parts of this question. And why will this be wrong? Why will D option be wrong? Because in some interval the function was decreasing, in some interval it was increasing. So it is not always strictly increasing. So D option is wrong. Why is C option wrong? Because it doesn't have any minima at positive x. It is a strictly increasing function for positive x, as we have already seen. And because look, what we are trying to say is it is actually increasing for all x belonging to this interval, and this is a negative quantity, right? So what we are trying to say is since x1 is a negative quantity, from x1 to all numbers till infinity, the function is increasing, right? So obviously it also increases from 0 to infinity, because this is just a subset of this bigger set. So obviously we can say that no minima shall exist for positive x, because there it is anyway increasing, an increasing function in this particular interval. Now it has got exactly one minima for negative x. So yes, that's true. As we have already seen, x1 is a negative quantity, so B option would be correct. And one positive root, obviously that would be correct, as we have already seen. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this particular question and its solution, and learned a lot, because the way we use this technique to separate the numerator function and then analyze that to gain access, or to gain insight in the sign scheme of f prime x, I think was really important. And I hope it added value to your knowledge, and make sure you like the video, comment down below what more chapters would you like to see, and subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, hit the bell icon to never miss an update, and I'll see you all in the next one.